Hello, I am Professor Lushin. I'll be your instructor for Safety 388, Occupational Safety and Health Standards and Applications. This is a completely online course, and it's also a condensed 6-week course. So the mechanics of it, the delivery of it are a little bit different than the normal length, full semester length. But I want to just, discuss part of it with you as we get going. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my background just so you know who I am, and I hope that we get to speak several times throughout this short period of 6 weeks. I'm going to give you a little bit about my background in teaching and course development. I'll actually talk about the class itself and then try to give you some tips. The reason for showing you Oompa Loompas and a scene from The Shining is, one is I love horror movies. I'm a horror movie buff. Watch them whenever I can. The other is, I figure if I show you freaky pictures at the beginning, maybe you'll think that I'm easier to approach. I don't know. We'll see. Of course, I've got the OG monsters here. Mummy, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. So I started my career as a compliance officer with OSHA. I spent a couple of years as a consultant with OSHA. That's working on the consultation side. In betwixt, I also worked for a year out in private industry as a product manager for an air filtration product line. When I went to graduate school for 6.5 years, I was an assistant safety director for a large, dare I say the largest, maybe second largest department within Wisconsin. And then I've been doing consulting work and teaching for the past 15 years. And I also am heavily involved from a volunteer leadership perspective with the American Society of Safety Professionals. And so one of the things I want to bring to this class is not only my broad expertise, because I love practicing safety, I really do, all aspects of it, but to provide you with some of the resources, things that I use, introduce you to my network. And at the time of this recording, I just found out not 48 hours ago that I was just elected to another position. I'll be the Region 5 Vice President for the next 3 years for the American Society of Safety Professionals, for Region 5. That's one we're in right now. And so I'll bring in, maybe not so much in this course because it's condensed, but if you ever have any questions or want to connect with somebody, and I may try to set up some mentoring for you that you could talk to someone, but it's summer and availability, is questionable. So I'll see what I can do, but at minimum, I want to talk to all of you, at least one-on-one. My personal learning philosophy is that my students are the product I bring to the marketplace, and the marketplace are the people who hire my students. Therefore, I try and customize my lessons to real life so they can be applied. And I think you'll see that in all of the weekly assignments that we have. I believe that my practice, my craft, improved through my graduate education. And I see a very strong link between being a student and practicing safety, because you're continuously learning. You're always searching for maybe not answers, but just a better understanding of what could be tried next. And so that's something you do as students right now. And it's something I'll be referring to, I think, throughout this course, that I want you to, your experience as a student and what you're doing to, one, learn, two, to achieve the grade you want, is the same sort of thing we're doing as safety professionals, is trying to find out what we can do, try to learn to understand what we can do next. And sometimes things don't work, and then we look at it, we try something different. Another thing is that I don't like to give the prototypical test. So we're not going to do any sort of tests in this class. And you may think, well, how am I supposed to? Each week, you're going to provide insight and reflection and connection to the material, and then talk to me. And in our discussions, and on the discussion board, when you can't speak to me, when we can't meet, we can't find a mutual time, that'll be, in a way, testing you, but not from a multiple choice perspective. I don't like multiple choice. If you guys can name the movies that all three of these came from, I guess the one on the left is probably very simple. The one in the middle maybe is simpler because it's a later movie. But the one on the right, I really like that series. We'll see if you guys know what that is. See if we have any horror buffs in here. Maybe you guys can recommend something. So the learning objectives tend to revolve around one, OSHA and using its resources, two, conducting effective investigations, not only post-accident but pre-accident, and then being able to determine what would be suitable mitigation or control strategies for what we find in the workplace to protect workers. I guess that's pretty much all I want to say about that. So here's a breakdown of the assignments. I would like you all, right after this video, to complete the pre-semester survey, though it's not due till the end of the first week, just so I can get a little bit of insight from you. And then at the end, the university will send out an email asking you to complete the course climate survey, and I'll remind you to do that. I give points for it. Each week there'll be a weekly assignment. It'll be built around the topics. There'll be a weekly reflection in which I'm going to have you think about the topics a little bit deeper and connect to it. Things in your personal life, maybe even provide you with scenarios to think through. The discussion will be either one-on-one with you and I, and that's something in the pre-survey. We'll try to determine either a set time or approximate times. If you guys want to meet as groups, we can do that too. If you cannot meet or you just do not want to talk to me, which is fine, I understand, I will have a discussion board and you can post that. But the thing is, in my experience, most students don't like discussion boards. And it's like you do it because you have to do it. I want you to enjoy the interaction. So, and then there's a final paper in which you guys are going to do an actual case study. I'll provide examples. I will, and I'll try to help you identify what topic to focus on. And that'll come out of meeting with you each week, which is what I hope we do. The office hours, I guess the one-on-ones could count as an office hour. I think that mentoring is very critical. I'm currently looking for a new mentor. Just like this new role I'm getting into, and I mentor other people as well. And I think that it's important to get another person's perspective on what we're doing. It helps us make the right decision a little bit quicker, or helps us put things in a better arrangement or perspective so we can really learn from it. So I'm here to give you expert advice, to try not to scare you, and to maybe hook you up with some mentors to hear from the outside. But I need to know what you're interested in. Before I do that, I don't want to just randomly connect you with like a national speaker when you have no interest in that speaker's expertise. So we got 6 weeks. Here's the first 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, when you take a 16-week course and compress it into 6 weeks, there's a lot to be done. I'm trying to make this as accessible as possible for you. So there are some readings. The assignments are meant to really focus on the important aspects of what I want you to read or look at. I provide short lecture videos like this to kind of guide you and try to help with the connection to the material. Just do the best you can. And if you need extra time, please reach out to me. Don't miss a deadline and then come back and go, oh, I didn't know I had a deadline. Well, I know that they're on the Canvas site. So be in communication with me. So here's the first 3 weeks. Here's the second 3 weeks. The last week, we do have a few, there'll be some content to it. I'm only going to count the top 5 scores. So out of 6 weeks, if you nail the first 5 weeks, you can skip the 6-week assignments. Fine with that. But if you don't score as well in one of the weeks, then you'll want to complete the 6th week. And then we'll be doing presentations. I'd like to do group presentations of maybe 3 or 4 at a time, just so we can share, on what you all experienced and what you learned in your particular project. I think it's fun. I'm also a Fortnite player, so if anybody likes that, we can also talk. So what do you need to do well in this course? One is watch all the lecture videos and at least look at everything that's posted. I do monitor student Canvas time and touches just to see who are the more active students, and reach out to those that I think maybe might need some help. All the information is good that I'm providing you, but it may be too much to consume all in just a short period of time. And so that's why I'm going to try to direct you to the most pertinent, the most important topics. Please be honest and thorough in your weekly assignments and reflections. It's really important that I can get a sense for what you're thinking and how you're understanding things versus quizzes and exams, which I hope you appreciate not having to do. I think the when you can take the time to actually provide the answer you want, it's more meaningful. And by all means, ask questions, which is another thing. If we can set up a regular weekly meeting, I think this class will get really easy quickly. I almost think that, spending 15, 20 minutes with each of you, once a week for the whole thing would be more than enough to review your work. But let's not push that. Let's stick with the way things are, but we can talk. I'm already over 10 minutes. Didn't mean to go this long. Please reach out to me. Please complete the pre-semester survey and then get onto the Canvas site and start looking around. I look forward to working with you over the next 6 weeks.